The $25,000 Tesla is finally here. Yes, it's called a gently used Model Y. Teslas depreciate like crazy. In the past 6 months alone, I personally have bought 2 Teslas and sold 2 Teslas, and one of them being only 5 months old. And in this video, I'll share how much I've lost on my depreciation for my vehicles, and I'll also go over how the ending of the tax credits are going to impact Tesla values and prices going into the last half of 2025. And I'll also give you some tips to minimize the Tesla depreciation as much as possible so you can avoid the costly mistakes that I made. Now, over the past 7 years, I've purchased 4 new Tesla vehicles. My first Tesla was the 2018 Model 3 for $56,000. Yes, that's a lot of money compared to what it is now. Next up was the 2022 Model Y for $55,000. Earlier this year, I got the 2025 Model 3 for $46,000. And just a few weeks ago, I picked up the brand new 2026 Model Y. Yes, I guess it came from the future for $46,000. It's kind of crazy, the same price as the Model 3, give or take a few $100s. Now that's a total of $200,000 before any credits or incentives. Don't be like me. My wife's a little upset, okay? But the good news is I've sold 2 of those, so I got some of that money back, right?
It's not enough.
Okay, so buying any new car is not a great financial decision. You've probably heard the saying, a new car loses value as soon as you drive it off the lot. Well, electric vehicles in general have historically depreciated faster than comparable gas cars, and it's mainly because of one major thing, the battery. The most expensive part of any EV is the battery, which has made the initial price of EVs start off pretty high. And with the rapid advancements in EV battery technology, newer models with longer ranges and faster charging times can make older models seem outdated and less valuable. And at the end of the day, EVs are still a relatively new kind of transportation, and people are still hesitant to buy a used EV because they are worried about the battery health, not just the current range, but the remaining life itself. So an EV battery is the most important component because it largely determines the car's value, and it would be really nice if there were a simple way to monitor an EV's battery health and market value. Oh right, today's sponsor Recurrent does exactly that. Recurrent is a free tool that provides EV battery transparency to owners, buyers, and sellers. Now, many factors affect an EV battery's performance, such as temperature, age, charging habits, driving style, and battery chemistry. So Recurrent's team of battery scientists conduct EV research to help you get the most from your electric car. Now, I've been using Recurrent for years on all my Teslas. Simply sign up and connect your vehicle. Then after that, you can access your own dashboard to see personalized insights on your vehicle's range and battery performance, along with several other useful data points, including market value. The Recurrent dashboard is my go-to source for monitoring all these details, and it does it for me automatically. Recurrent's battery score is important too because when it's time to sell or trade in your car, you can use this info to give the buyer confidence, which could possibly result in a higher selling price. But it doesn't just benefit sellers. If you're buying an EV, Recurrent can check the range, battery, and tax credit eligibility on thousands of used EVs so you can feel reassured that you're making a solid purchase. And best of all, it is free. Click the link below to sign up to Recurrent and join me along with thousands of other EV drivers. So after using Recurrent to track my own Tesla's values, it's true that Tesla specifically seems to suffer from higher depreciation rates. According to data from Car Gurus, Tesla's used car prices have dropped by as much as 25% in the first year, and that is significantly more than other automakers. So why is that? First, Tesla is consistently introducing new features and updates to their vehicle lineup, such as the recent refreshes seen in the Highland Model 3 and the Juniper Model Y, which make the older models seem outdated and less desirable. And Tesla's pricing also fluctuates quite frequently, and they have been known to change prices drastically, literally overnight. And this dynamic pricing strategy impacts the value of used vehicles, especially when the new models are offered at lower prices. And although Tesla vehicles are not luxurious compared to actual luxury cars, at the end of the day, Teslas are lumped into this luxury category, and luxury vehicles in general tend to depreciate more quickly than lower cost mainstream models. But there's one more big factor that has affected Tesla values over the past several years, and that is the tax credit. So how will the ending of the tax credit in September affect the values of Teslas? Well, the last time that the federal tax credit was removed, it's happened before, Tesla simply lowered their prices to almost match what the tax credit was saving buyers. However, I don't expect that much of a drastic price cut from Tesla this time around. I think they'll lower prices just enough to beat out the competition's prices, but probably not $7,500 worth. Now, the used EV tax credit currently offers up to $4,000 off for buyers, which is a really great deal. But the ending of this tax credit could make used Teslas less attractive to some buyers and put many Teslas out of some buyers' budgets, which could lead to lower prices for used Teslas, which is a good thing for buyers, but not a particularly good thing for Tesla owners. Now, the rapid advancement of EV technology and the increasing competition in the EV space, along with the high depreciation rates for used EVs, could also lead to lower used Tesla prices. Also, some dealerships probably use the tax credit as a way to artificially inflate the price of used EVs. No way, they would never do that. Now, they probably try to hide the actual true value of the vehicle, so when the tax credit is actually gone, these dealers may have to adjust their prices. But the removal of the used EV tax credit only affects used EVs with a sale price up to $25,000. So there's still a large portion of used EVs that won't be affected by the tax credit removal at all. Here's the real truth of how much Teslas actually depreciate from somebody who's sold two in the past 6 months. For the 2018 Model 3, I did a video about this. I bought it for $56,000 before any tax credit. I sold it for $19,000 in January. And that means it appreciated 60% after 7 years. And keep in mind, that car had 157,000 miles on it. So that's kind of a fair deal in my opinion. 60% depreciation for 160,000 miles on a car that was 7 years old. Moving on to my wife's 2022 Model Y, we bought that at the peak of the car market. I mean, it was crazy prices then. No tax credit was available at the time, $55,000. And the current Carvana offer is $25,000. And that matches up to the KBB value as well. So that's about 55% depreciation after just 3 years. That kind of hurts. So we're keeping this as long as possible. It has about 37,000 miles on it right now. Now the 2025 Model 3, this is what you guys will probably want to see. I bought this in January for $46,000 before any tax credits. Now I did apply the federal tax credit and I had a lot of Tesla credits from the referral program that I applied to this purchase as well. And it literally only cost me about $4,000 out of pocket after selling my 2018 Model 3. Now I tried to find a private buyer to sell to at a fairly good price. I couldn't find anybody. Nobody could match what I kind of wanted from it. So I shopped around and got a few quotes from some dealers. So the lowest offer was from TrueCar, which was $27,000. And that's $20,000 less than what I bought it for. Crazy. So immediately turned that one down, right? I also got a trade-in offer from Tesla themselves, which I expected to be pretty low. And yes, it was, but it was actually higher than TrueCar. It was around $29,000. So that's pretty low from Tesla themselves for a 5-month-old Model 3 that had 4,000 miles on it. So turned that one down, obviously. Went to CarMax. A lot of people said they got really good offers from CarMax. All right, we are here at CarMax. Let's see what they say. $29,000. Wow, I was expecting more. A lot of people online said CarMax offered them the most for their cars in the Tesla community that I researched online, but CarMax definitely did not do that for me. And of course, I used Recurrent to get an offer. If you're signed up for Recurrent, you can actually go in there and it will send dealerships your car information and they will send you an offer. And I got an offer, it was $32,500. So I was actually contemplating doing that, but I finally went to Carvana and got a Carvana quote and they immediately sent me an offer of $33,800 without even looking at the car. And this is how that went. That was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah, Carvana bought my Model 3. They had the best offer, almost $34,000. It was seamless, 20, 30 minutes tops. Took a few pictures of the car. That's it. So after selling to Carvana, that meant I took a depreciation hit of 25% off of the MSRP after just 5 months of ownership and 4,000 miles. So don't be like me. Don't buy a new Tesla and sell it 5 months later. But I actually used that money that I sold to Carvana and applied it to the new Model Y, which I applied the federal tax credit to. And it only cost me about $5,000 out of pocket, including sales tax and everything, registration, to upgrade from the 2025 Model 3 to the 2026 Model Y. So Teslas do appreciate pretty quickly, but there are some things that you can try to do to minimize that. First, you can drive your car for a long time. The longer you own the car, the more you drive it, the more money, the more ROI you're gonna get out of it. I did that with my 2018 Model 3, drove it for 7 years and got a lot of use out of it, and it saved me a lot of gas money. And I got $19,000 out of it, so I can't complain about that. Next, you should try to lease if you don't drive a lot. Now me, leasing wasn't even available in my state and I drive too much anyway, so I can't ever really consider leasing myself, but EVs, if you can lease, if you don't drive a lot, it's a great idea because EV technology, again, is rapidly advancing. So 3 years from now, you're probably gonna be able to get rid of your lease and upgrade to a newer, better EV with longer range, better charging rates. So that's always a good idea if it's available to you. Never buy launch series editions, especially when it comes to Tesla. Like I was considering buying the launch series Model Y, super expensive, didn't do it, saved a lot of money by waiting just a few months and getting the rear wheel drive Model Y. Buy slightly used instead of new. This is pretty obvious, but if you wait a couple years, if you can be patient, you'll get a great used car for a really good deal, especially with Teslas. Next is to take care of your car and most importantly, the battery health. So I have a video about this, how to care for your battery. If you're driving a Tesla specifically or an EV, definitely take care of the battery and just care for your car in general. And when it comes to the sell, you'll get the most money out of it. Sell to a private buyer when you are selling. So if you can find a private buyer, you're most likely going to get more money, but that's not always the case. So in that case, make sure you get a lot of different offers. What I did with my Model 3 is I listed it all on Facebook Marketplace, cars.com, Auto Trader. I went to local dealerships. Of course, I used Recurrent to get an offer, and I got an offer from TrueCar, Carvana, and CarMax. So get as many offers as you can and avoid putting money into expensive aftermarket accessories or modifications. You're never going to get that money back. I put PPF on my cars, but I thought it was a nice selling point. I got all these accessories and the PPF and nobody really cares. So don't spend a ton of money on that stuff. Really, at the end of the day, just buy a car that fits within your budget, try to keep it for a long time and take care of it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Andy. If you want to see more Tesla and tech videos in the future, make sure you subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out. I'll talk to you in the next one.